These are large men, these Super Ds. Well, Bill Mercer certainly had a one-track mind during this holiday special, or maybe that's just me. I'm John Martin with the Retro Review of World Class Championship Wrestling Christmas Star Wars 1983. And the Freebirds are being run out of Texas. They will no longer be allowed in Reunion Arena or anywhere near the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or anywhere in Texas. Hooray! Merry, Merry Christmas to all, and to all of Von Erich Night. Okay, the Von Erichs would be battling the Freebirds at the Parade of Champions show just a few months after this. But for now, hooray again, Merry Christmas. Okay, this was certainly a holiday special that had an electric crowd, dun, 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 and had David Von Erich challenging the dastardly Nature Boy Ric Flair for the NWA Championship gold. And it's a real shame that David Von Erich would pass away just less than a couple months after this event, because you can imagine he probably would have been NWA champion. He had the look. He had the passion, he had the mindset, and it's a real shame. I really wonder where David Von Erich's career would have gone in the 80s and into the 90s. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. But they are at Reunion Arena, a bit of a bigger crowd than the Thanksgiving Star Wars special, which still had a really full crowd. This one had about 1,500 people more, so pretty much a sellout. And this comes courtesy of Classic Wrestling Stuff on YouTube. They have a lot of great stuff. I do have to say one of the matches is clipped and there is one match missing, but it's still nice that this stuff is available on YouTube. So, Ralph Pulley, who did a cappella to start Thanksgiving Star Wars, does it here, God Bless America. And we get a Space Odyssey intro, no HAL 9000, no weird transition, and a guy going through ages and looking at the monolith. I have no idea what that movie was on about, but still, it was really goddamn good. One of my favorite movies, even if it's just really goddamn strange, because Stanley Kubrick was really strange. You would have thought Ric Flair was going to come out because he had that as his intro, but alas, no. Bill Mercer on the call. Mark Lawrence does the intros. Johnny Mantell versus a missing link. Bit of a mismatch here. The crowd was chanting, go Johnny go, go, go Johnny go, go. Missing link hitting him with the headbutt, and Johnny be good down on the mat. Missing link wins pretty easily. So, we get Black Gordman versus Jose Lothario. Okay, remember how they were part of a six-man match to start Thanksgiving Star Wars, and it was a good idea given the state of these two, especially Jose? Yeah, a singles match was a mistake. This was 7 minutes, and it felt a lot longer, and Jose had a name in Texas, and, especially in Houston, Paul Bosch liked using him and stuff like that, and he was somebody that was renowned for his work, but this was really sad because it's just exposed the fact that Jose could not really do much outside of doing a few spots in a multi-man match. And he does get a backslide 1, 2, 3 in a match again that went on a little bit too long. Even though it was only 7.5 minutes, it still went on a bit too long. Boy, this hat's getting in my way. Great hat, by the way. Got this from a customer that used to come into a place I used to work at. She made hats for the various people that were nice to her throughout the entire year, and her husband handed out the hats, and that was, God, at least I'd say 10, 11 years ago, and you know what? Why not keep it? Plus, Christmas! Okay, so we do get a bit of, an aftermath with chops and punches, and then we get a lot of pre-tapes with the tag title competitors, Parsons and Brian Adias, and there were burns on Iceman King Parsons' face after Skandar Akbar set fire to it. I mean, that was actually pretty goddamn impressive because it almost engulfed his face. And Akbar talks about how, oh, you think that that's the worst we could do? Well, you're not going to win these titles. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, Akbar, you were wrong because the Super Destroyers lost the tag titles to Iceman King Parsons and Brian Adias. In a match that wasn't that bad, Parsons wanted revenge. There were a lot of side headlocks. And I understand, you did stuff and you were able to grind down your opponent, but sometimes it got a little bit slow-paced. Of course, there was a line, these are large men, these Super Ds, which is, of course, a line I reacted to with the good taste and maturity you've all come to expect from me. Iceman got tagged, and then eventually, there was a miscue, between the Super Ds and the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise roll-up, 1, 2, 3. So they get the victory. Iceman King Parsons and JYD couldn't win them last month, the month prior, because JYD was being booked out of Mid-South, but him and Brian Adias won. Brian Adias also should have never cut promos. I mean, he had too much hair for any thoughts to get through, seemingly. So, there was a beatdown after Adias got knocked down, and Iceman King Parsons got hit with a superplex, and Adias comes back to run them off. Pre-tapes with Kerry Von Erich and Akbar. Akbar's like, no, you're not going to win the $10,000. We're not going to give you the money. Well, Kerry says, bitch, you better have my money. Say, hey, I'm going to slam your Ugandan giant. Say, hey. Okay, couldn't sound more white if I tried. Crowd was obviously cheering Kerry wildly. This is back when he could have literally both feet on the ground. And there were claw teases by both. Kamala did get, claw holds on the sides and everything. Could he just squeeze the breath out of Kerry? Nope, it wasn't 1993 yet. Akbar trips Kerry. That causes a DQ. We get a claw and a slam afterwards, but he doesn't get the money. Oh, no. So we get pre-tapes with Gentleman Chris Adams, and if Sunshine, or basically if Adams retains his championship, Sunshine gets Precious for 5 minutes. And Garvin had a lot of hair. So much hair on this. Him and Brian Diaz could have drowned out their opponent. If they ever teamed up, they could have drowned out their opponents with just their hair alone. So gorgeous Jimmy Garvin with Precious took on Gentleman Chris Adams with Sunshine, American Heavyweight Championship match. And Adams had won the championship at Thanksgiving Star Wars. And this was a return grudge match that was very personal, very well done. And did end up with Garvin being busted open. But that being said, he would not be denied. Adams got a roll up, but then Garvin reversed it. Most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Surprise roll up 1, 2, 3. He regains the championship. Then the women have a cat fight. And that's it. So Mike Reed and the Mongol got cut. No big loss there. No offense against them, but I don't really think anybody's going to be missing that. So Kevin and Mike had a pre-tape. Terry and Buddy, they have their own response because it's the loser leaves Texas anything goes match. And Gordy basically says, well, by the way, if one of the Freebirds loses, well, basically if Kevin loses, then Hayes gets to come back. Kevin can't wrestle in Texas for a year if he loses because Mike just started his career, even though it should not have been an in-ring career. And again, Hayes can come back. Also, there's been a weird Santa traveling around and going around the crowd and everything and acting weird. They keep focusing on the Santa. That can't be Michael. What? It is. It was Michael Hayes, by the way. But yeah, Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts versus Kevin and Mike Von Erich. Mike got the shit beat out of him for pretty much 2,000% of this match. And then a hot tag to Kevin. Mike got sent over the top. Santa hits somebody, and the referee was down. Second referee comes in. Gordy gets pinned with the sunset flip, 1, 2, 3. Santa was Michael Hayes and hit a pile driver on Mike. And then Kerry comes down to basically make sure that, this stuff stops happening. Ref discussion. Kevin is declared the winner, and Roberts stands alone. So that's pretty much it right there. It's funny that the Freebirds would then end up going to WWE for a very brief time, I think like a couple weeks, and then they would come back to Texas at the Parade of Champions show and get paid pretty goddamn well for that huge house in Texas. Just such a shame it had to it happened because David Von Erich tragically passed away. So, Ric Flair and David Von Erich, NWA Championship match. Joined in progress. I think there was about maybe 12 minutes of this match that they showed. The crowd wanted David to win. There was a lot of heavy focus on the arm by Rick because he wanted to take away the claw. That being said, David would not be denied. He would go for the claw. He would just go for it he would just go for it. And Rick gets tossed off the top. He tosses David over the top rope, which would usually be a disqualification, but David May said, no, I'm not doing this. You're going to fight him. And then later, Flair's bleeding and decides to just knock David with the microphone. And the referee says, okay, fine, I'll do it. Okay, we'll just get a return match. We'll get David winning the title But basically, he calls the DQ. Rick retains the championship, and they are going to continue this feud until, unfortunately, David's untimely death. But that being said, hey, one of the Freebirds is being run out of has already been run out of Texas, and Michael Hayes, and Terry Gordy is gone. Now, Buddy Roberts stands alone. Merry Christmas. Anyway, God, Jesus, hat. It's a great hat, but it gets in the way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.